Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll be learning about two types of functions. There are with arguments and with return value functions, and with arguments and no return value functions. In the last video, we learned about no arguments and no return value functions, and no arguments and with return value functions. So let's start. We'll go to our code blocks. Here, yeah, it's there with argument and no return value functions. So we'll be dealing with the same functions that we learned in the last class, that is the add functions, in which we can add the two numbers. So to start with, we'll go with argument and no return value functions. First, we'll declare three integers, that is integer a, comma, b, and we'll declare a sum also. So then we need to define the functions. As this is no return value functions, we need to give void for return, and then the function name comes, it is add, and then inside we want to take arguments. In the last video, we learned that arguments are those which we take in, and then with the help of those we execute the statements. So we need two integers to calculate the sum here. So we'll take integers as arguments. So we'll take integer as an argument and we'll name it for a sake C, and another integer we need, we'll name it D. Now inside the function, what we want to do is we want to compute the sum. So the sum will be C plus D, and we want to print it. So we'll write the sum is percentage D. We'll have an escape sequence here for the new line, and then we'll print here sum. And this is no return value function. We'll simply write return. Yeah, now we need to call this function here. Before calling, we can see that we need to give two parameters, that is two arguments to these functions. They are two integers. So now we'll take two integers from the user. So for that we'll print him a statement, enter two integers, new line here, semicolon, and now we'll scan those two integers using the scanf function, percentage d. We need to store them in a and b, so we'll store them as a and store it as b. And now we'll call this add function. Inside the add functions, it's asking us for two arguments that are integers, so we'll specify a and b. Now what this will do is, first we are taking two integers from the user, then we are calling the add function and giving two integers to it. Then the control will go to this add function. Inside this add function, we are adding the two integers and printing the sum. So it will take those two a and b and print the sum for us. So now let's build and run this and see what. Yeah, it's asking for two integers. We'll give 5 and 6. The sum is 11. Yeah, it's working good. Now we saw about with argument and no return value functions. Now we'll see about with arguments and with return value function. Now we'll come here and just manipulate this a bit. Now what we are doing is we are printing the sum inside its add functions. Now what we will do is we'll take the sum out and we will return this sum to the main functions. Return sum. And then what we will do is we'll take this sum into another integer here. So for that we need to include that integer, declare that integer. We will declare that integer as result. And now we will, whenever this add function is called, it returns us an integer, that is sum. So as the return type is what, we need to change it to int. So now what we'll do is it will compute the sum and return that sum. So we need to store that returned integer in a variable called, we need to store that returned integer in result. So we'll give here result is equal to add a and b. Now we'll print the result. sum is percentage d, and instead of sum we'll print here result. Now I hope you understood this. What it will do is, if this add functions, now it will take two integers and it will not print the result. Instead it just sends the sum. That is, now we are taking that sum into a result and then we are printing the result. So now let's run this. Yeah, it's asking us two integers, 3, 6, sum is 9. It's working as expected. And I hope you have got the leftover two types of functions, that is with argument and with return value functions, and with argument and no return value functions. This is for today, and in the next video we'll be learning about how to code for a calculator. So stay tuned, keep watching, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.